If you don't know the context of the things that you know about, you're kind of lost, okay? We all have absolute truths in tarot. For life of me, I can't think of any right this second. But the danger of seeing absolute truths is that you forget where they came from. Rider-Waite was Victorian, and the Rider-Waite deck came out in the Edwardian time. The Golden Dawn was Victorian. They think it was absolute, but their knowledge was very much of their time and of their place. And if you don't understand those things, it's easy to lose the point of a lot of things. So a lot of this is about the Golden Dawn because Rider-Waite was in the Golden Dawn. Do we have any members of the Golden Dawn here? 2. Wow. 3? Is that you? No? May I know which one?
London Temple and one in Manchester, and I go to Nottingham.
Right, and Mary's in one as well.
Yeah. South San Francisco.
South San Francisco. Right. Well, the first question, if anyone says them the Golden Dawn, is to ask them because there are an awful lot of them. And what I'm talking about this afternoon, so as not to insult anyone, is really about those 13 years between 1888 and 1901. That's how long the Golden Dawn lasted. Okay. Beyond that, you get into offshoots and schisms and all sorts of things. If you Google for schisms and the Golden Dawn, you'll see that it's still going on today. And the 100 Years' War last 100 years. We're 120 years, 110 years going on a down-till end. So there's a lot of passion and energy and confusion about these things. I've never been in the Golden Dawn. After this talk, I will never will be either. And I do love the Golden Dawn. It's informed my journey for 25 to 30 years, I guess. I had a teacher called Pandit Maharaj. Once I had a teacher, he found me, and he was a silent Sufi. He never discussed very much, just had to swear at me, basically. Apparently the way it works on these things. So he's swearing at me, and to my friends he's saying, "Who's doing really good?" To my friends, he's doing bloody useless. So he got me into reading palms and then tarot cards. And I said, "There's no books on this kind of stuff." He said, "Yes, there's loads." And I was having a lot of experiences in dreams and flashes. I live in Brighton, not those kind of flashes. And it was where were they coming from? And I eventually found I think it's the Llewellyn Golden Dawn book, or it could be, I got the big yellow one as well, if anyone knows about these kind of things. And it was trying to find answers to the experiences that I was getting. And there's all kind of things, Enochian things, and the Tree of Life, and everything else that was in there. So I was getting all these flashes, Alistair Crowley, the Top Tarot, and everything else. So I was having these things and scrabbling to try and work out what they were. And that's been my kind of journey on these things. So I love the Golden Dawn. But the problem with the Golden Dawn is it was a pioneer, and it made lots and lots of mistakes. And if you don't know the context of things, you're not going to know those mistakes. So you have to study it, and it's worthwhile studying if you don't join the Golden Dawn, because if you can talk about it, people think, well, you're an expert on tarot, like me. So that's how it works. So it's important to kind of have these things to understand them. I think what was really interesting, Mary was talking this afternoon, Mary was talking about the personal journey that we're on, in our own ways, and the talk I'm talking this afternoon is more about the organisation. What happens to organisations who are trying to take people on this kind of journey? It's complex and it's difficult, and it makes for great stories as well. So basically, this talk is about 3 or 4 areas. The first of all is the Golden Dawn history, the schisms, and why I think they had the schisms. This is my personal view, by the way. You won't find it in the book, probably. Then I'm going to talk about hermeneutics, which is the study of interpretation, what interpretation means by it, and all these sort of things. something about the Rider-Waite and the Golden Dawn symbols, more as a kind of overview. And then the Christian and mystical dimension, which is really interesting, of course, because Mary trumped me on that one by the story of Tobit, which I had no idea was going to come up. So there's this whole kind of mystical and spiritual direction within the tarot that a lot of the time is missed, because we end up talking about fortune telling and what does it mean if someone's getting divorced and this card turns up or something else. So it's great to get off those things, more about the whole bigger picture. So around about 1888, the Golden Dawn started, and they found some papers in Charing Cross Road, just up the road, reportedly by a German woman, Frau Sprengel. There's lots of controversy, which I'm not going to go into, about how these things started and all the rest of it. But there's McGregor Mathers and a few other people who were basically Masonic Freemasons and things. And these things, they developed this whole system from these cipher codes that Mary mentioned earlier. And everything went fine. I mean, one of the things that comes out of the Golden Dawn is it's supposed to be a secret society, but they're forever losing things. McGregor Mathers, who started it, he managed to lose secret papers on trains, just like the MI5 nothing changes. Absolutely. But what brought down the Golden Dawn was probably the Daily Mail, actually. It was a sex scandal. And paradoxically, it was nothing to do with the Golden Dawn. But a couple called Mr. and Mrs. Horos, Theo Horos, they forged some Golden Dawn credentials, masqueraded themselves as head of the temple or something like this. They even managed to get some of these things, like McGregor Mathers believed them, they got some of his papers as well. And there was some kind of rape case that came out in 1901 in London. And it's big news, and the Golden Dawn were first to show their papers in the courtroom. The whole kind of thing came out. And it completely destroyed the organisation. The pressures were building anyway. It probably would have split, but that really did it for it. And so as a result, in 1901 it broke up. And I made a list of some of the different organisations that came out of there very quickly afterwards. There's the Alpha and Omega, which is McGregor Mathers. The Stella Matutina, which is lots to do with the rebellious people who didn't agree with the way Mathers was doing it. There's Aleister Crowley's Argentum Astrum. There's Paul Foster Case's Builders of the Detum. Dion Fortune's Fraternity of the Hidden Light. And A. Waite's The Holy Order of the Golden Dawn, which ran from 1903 to 1914. So, I mean, these are all names pretty much that are familiar with people in tarot. And it's just basically, I mean, I was doing some research. Apparently there's an open source Golden Dawn now if you go online. So, you know, you can find out loads of them there. Anyone can set up a Golden Dawn thing. You say you've got a letter from the Hidden Masters, here's your credentials, and everyone says, no you haven't, we say yes you have. And that's how it continues, you see. So, there's the, so all these schisms keep on going on. And why do I have the schisms? It's something I've thought about a lot, and there's a lot of politics, of personality conflicts, knowledge, all sorts of things that are there. It depends on which side of the fence you are as to who's right on these things. So I don't know. Okay, I challenge anyone to know, to be honest with you. So around about 1937, Israel Regardie, who was a student of Aleister Crowley, he joined one of these orders, and he was so shocked at the standards of the teaching that was going on that he decided to publish the papers himself. Now, of course, Crowley had already done that in the Equinox books by then, but he's the one that really sets the standard. And if you go to these different Golden Dawn organisations on the web, you find they have pretty much the same stuff, all lifted from the same book. So it's the same book, different versions. I couldn't